Hey there, welcome to the REI Conversion Podcast, where each episode we discuss strategies and digital tools to help you launch, automate, and scale your real estate investing business. Learn how to run your investing business remotely, find out ways to automate your business to better utilize your time, and learn what other successful investors are implementing so you can get to the next step closer to your investing goals. And I'm your host and founder of REI Conversion, Jesse Kwong. Hey, how's it going? This is Jesse of the REI Conversion Podcast. Today, I've brought back a Facebook marketing specialist, and we had him back actually in episode 10, Justin Melquist of landtrainer.com. Justin, how's it going?
Great, Jesse. How are you doing?
Yeah, I am great. Justin, for those of you who don't know, if you can quickly introduce who you are and also what you do outside of land investing, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, I have a full time job. I'm active duty military, but I have been doing land investing for coming up on around 5 years or so. The last year to year and a half, I've also provided some coaching and some instruction to other folks getting into the business. So.
Right on. I actually brought Justin back because he really is the Facebook specialist when it comes to marketing land. And I know a lot of you got a lot of value from the last episode. I think it was episode number 10. If you guys want to listen to that, that's reiconversion.com/REICON010. Now things have changed. Plus, we're hearing from a lot more of you guys. So since our last show, we've been getting a lot of questions, and Justin has been getting a lot of questions as well, mainly pertaining to the process of marketing and selling land on Facebook. Now, in the last episode, we talked about things like how to drive your leads back to your site, how to post the right types of photos. In fact, we had a downloadable for that specific episode, and the very hot topic about frozen accounts and how to avoid your Facebook account from being frozen, and how to undo some of those freezes, and even how to prevent some of those. So again, if you haven't listened to that, I'd strongly suggest you to go back, listen to episode 10, and then come back to this episode, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter as long as you cover both with Justin, because he does share a wealth of knowledge in these episodes. Um, Seriously, there's some great tips to keep yourself in good standing inside of Facebook. The thing is, Facebook has now become probably the best place to market your property and to get buyer leads. And it's funny how Facebook literally has control over everything nowadays. It's a little bit scary. Um, so, anyways, we're going to go through, I would say, the top three questions or concerns that we get asked probably the most about marketing property on Facebook. Um, but before we get into that, I do want to let you know that Justin and myself will actually be doing a live AMA inside the REI Conversion community for land investing Facebook group. That is going to happen on March 11th. That's a Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Central, and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, I got all those times correct. Anyways, what you can do is join the group, and we'll be again holding a live question and answering session. AMA is ask me anything type of thing, and you can search for the group by typing in REI Conversion Community for Land Investors, or you can go directly to www.facebook.com/groups/REI Conversion. Okay, so marketing land on Facebook. Let's start off with probably the most. I just saw this question actually today. I really did. First off, do you use Justin? Do you use VAs to post your properties?
I do. Yeah, that's definitely one of the more asked questions that I get as well, as far as like how to incorporate that. Some people are a little hesitant, but we do. We have two VAs that help us with Facebook. One is a Philippine-based VA who posts all our ads across all the different land listing sites, but also manages all of our Facebook postings to buy and sell groups as well as Marketplace. She also responds to Messenger leads in the evenings, and then we have another US-based VA who responds to Messenger leads only throughout the day.
Okay, so um, now you said that you have a VA on the state side that handles the messenger side of things, and How do you sort of handle those messages and respond to those leads? What is your process?
Sure. So in terms of Facebook leads, our VAs have access to a document with responses to common questions, common inquiries. If you spend, even just a month or two doing it on your own, you'll notice that it rarely falls outside of the normal 5 to 10 questions, including the infamous "Is this available?" Right. So how you want to respond to that, it's very easy to transfer that knowledge to them, and it doesn't take long for them to pick it up. How What you want them to pass is crucial to how do you want to collect emails through landing pages? Do you want to forward them right to your land listing site? Those are all other topics that you can do. And then anytime that there's a question that falls outside of the realm of what they're comfortable with, they message me on Slack and say, so and so has a question or would like you to call them.
Right on. So, taking a step back there, would you suggest a land investor to sort of, deal with some leads first before they go on and sort of bring on a VA to start answering questions so that they get an understanding of the process first?
Yeah, I'd say so. Although I don't know if you need to spend too much time. I don't. It's kind of it's very robotic after you spend a little time,
Yeah.
and like you hear other people that do it, and I'm totally in this camp where if you find yourself responding to "Is this available?" leads while you're having dinner with your family, you need to maybe rethink finding somebody to help you out that is more than willing to do that.
I know those days very
Yeah.
well.
But
Responding during dinner. Yep.
But as far
Uh,
as also like how you really thinking through the process and what you want, where do you want to send them is important, right? How you want to respond to them is important. So as long as you think that through, and it can change and it should change, why not find somebody that can help you out?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And just to repeat, you have a VA that logs into your account. You have two VAs that log into your account, one from the Philippines and one on the state side. Is that correct?
Correct.
REI conversion websites are built to help you scale. Set up your site today to save time on both your acquisition and disposition sides of your business. Easily integrate with tools like Zapier, going from your site to your CRM or from your CRM to your site. Strategically designed themes built to optimize conversion rates for both buyer and seller leads, and custom built plugins by our team here at REI Conversion, helping you systemize your processes. Like our automated offers plugin to our sales post generator, all our plugins and themes work in perfect combination to help you grow, automate, and systemize the processes of your land or house investing business. Visit www.reiconversion.com today and launch your site and let it work for you, catching and generating more leads. Next, sort of has to do with those who are a bit cautious about posting in case their account gets frozen. I think that's always a hot topic. People are always a little bit paranoid about losing their accounts because there's so much that depends on that account, and I've had my account frozen before. But I think a lot of people are wondering, how often should you be posting to Marketplace?
Sure. So this is probably the most biggest question that we get or I get, and my response is usually you're not going to break Facebook. You're not going to break it, right? So it's really unlikely that your account's going to get fully frozen. I find that a lot of people are even more hesitant because they have their Facebook account, they have real friends, real relationships on Facebook, and they feel uneasy to show that they're actually in the lowly world of investing in raw vacant land, right? So get a lot of that. Um, you're more likely to get those marketplace freezes, the temporary group bans, the flag posts, and things like that. I don't see many people having a real hard time with keeping their account up and running as long as they're paying attention and doing some of the tips that we talk about in the course, not logging in too many machines, little things like that that you kind of just
Mhm.
learn. There are additional options such as you can buy seasoned accounts. I've never personally had to do that. I have spoken to people who do, and what I mean by seasoned is essentially if you go on and create a new Facebook account today with a different email address than your current one, you're not going to have Marketplace available right away. Facebook
Mhm.
wants to see that you're a human and that you're doing Facebook things before they give that to you. So, but you
Right.
can do that, and maybe you should take some time to create that second account, just because, like you said in the beginning, they when you look at the sales data for, I know how many properties I sell through Facebook, and if that went away tomorrow, that'd be bad, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. And then which areas for a property should I be posting in? And this is another common question we hear a lot about.
sure. So just like a lot of the things that we talk about with this, like Facebook, there's no secret ingredient, there's no secret county, right? There's no secret exact
Hmm.
way to do this. Our technique is really to post to any major city within a couple hours drive from the property. Just like kind of how you select county, sometimes you'd like to be able to market to a city that's in driving distance. Not always, but it's one of those general rules that when you're getting started anyway, it's something that's a technique. Additionally, we sprinkle in some of the smaller towns in the vicinity of the property. Understand you're not going to get as many views with that, but we like to change it up often. And like we talk about in the course, and our system essentially is, our thought process is changing those postings and posting more than you think. Posting often is the secret ingredient, right? That is the secret, is showing up and just throwing those ads out there, a lot of them.
Hmm.
Um, the other note there is, don't be afraid to post the property or cities like not near the property. So we've sold New Mexico properties in Boston, or Ohio. Um, so there's little tips and tricks with that, like making sure you throw that state in the headline if you're doing that. I posted some $300 an acre property in Arizona once to I think it was Oklahoma, farm country,
Yeah.
and people just freaked, right? They saw that and they didn't see that it was in Arizona. So my VA got a little overrun on that one.
Yeah, it is funny. I've had buyers from different states. Or another, I remember I did a lot of marketing out in like all over California, like northern part of California, and I get a lot of them that want to move out of the state and into Oregon, which is where a lot of my properties are at. So, yeah, it is funny. I mean, if you notice, I guess a pattern too, you're seeking to some of these leads. And you do notice that they're flocking from somewhere. That's something you might want to take a listen to as well. It might be helpful. Okay, on to the last one here. I just want to. Oh, right here. Um, Now this happens. Sorry, I am reading some notes here at the same time. So this happens a lot, but getting sort of nasty comments, it's a waste of time, and it does deter people from your property. How do you go about handling this, and what's your thought process on this?
My thought process is kind of like those first angry callers you got when you first started, right? It was rattling at first. Your blood got boiling and you wanted to say something back, but then you realized that it's not that big a deal, right? So I would say my approach is definitely don't engage them, try to prove them wrong. It's a no-win situation. I don't think it necessarily deters others from your property. I mean, I think most people on Facebook know what other kind of people are on Facebook. So I just don't think too much about it. Now, if they're making a comment now and then, look at it as bumping my post higher, right? So that person that's in a buy sell group, and that guy's in there causing trouble or commenting dumb or something silly like that, right? It's
Mm.
bumping it higher in the other people's news feed. So I just let them do it. Now my VAs, if it goes on, we block them. I give my VAs the right to block anyone. We have a list of, over the years. I mean, I bet we have 50 to 75 blocked people, just because life's too short, right? So
Yeah,
that's the way I
absolutely.
look at it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know sometimes we can sometimes end up spending so much of our focus on that one nasty comment, but at the end of the day, it's like, and we talked about this on another episode about testimonials. It's like, it's just not worth your time. Just move on from it. Honestly, not a lot. Most people are not even going to notice at the end of the day. So
Yeah, exactly.
now, thanks again for sharing sort of your thoughts on again three of the most commonly asked questions when it comes to Facebook, and we're very privileged to have you on this show again to talk about Facebook and for you to sort of drop knowledge on us. Now, Justin, I know you recently launched your updated Facebook marketing course that's called Marketing Land on Facebook 2.0. Can you sort of tell us a little bit about it? I know that if anybody wants to learn more, they can head over to www.landtrainer.com. But Justin, can you sort of share a little bit about what's in that course?
Sure. So really, it'll include everything from the first course, which is some of the stuff we talked about: avoiding freezes, tips on posting, whether you're brand new. I mean, we've had students that were never even on Facebook, so we started from the very beginning.
Yep.
Tips on posting, incorporating, but then we incorporate all the student questions and feedback that we got from the first course. So lots of questions about more of the little things that we kind of touched on a little bit here, right?
Hmm.
And things that have changed over Facebook, right? So um, one thing that is frustrating is that what you see on Facebook isn't what I see necessarily on Facebook. So that's tough to teach. However, we do talk about some of the ways to get around some of the trickiness that they like to pull on us. But the biggest difference, and this is the stuff that most people wanted to know and were questioning, is or had questions about, was it's really a deep dive into showing students our system, which is, um, you know, yeah, our system. We have a system for posting and getting those out there and talking with your VAs and things like that.
Right on. Now, when you say the word systems, I don't want anybody to start thinking, "Oh, is this going to be software?" Or what is it exactly when you say systems? Do they need specific software?
Definitely not. By system, I mean some type of repeatable process that allows you to show up on a consistent basis, to plan it, to make a plan, and then post that plan. So every 2 weeks, we produce our posting plan, and then our VA goes out and executes that plan. And our system is definitely not relying on any one software. We have four components of our system, really, and it's nothing crazy special. It's the first is Google Calendar, which shows when to post, where to post, headlines to use. Second is an advertisement sheet. We show a few, we have a plugin that we use within G Suite to produce ad bodies to make it go quick. And then Facebook group lists, and then just like a Google Drive to keep it all together, photos and things like that. So we just kind of show how you mesh that together. And it just shouldn't take that much time as long as you spend
Right.
a little bit of time planning it out.
Yeah. For those of you who don't have Facebook, you're sort of missing out. I know there's a lot of people who are just because they got into land, they're getting acquainted with Facebook now. So if you're not on Facebook, make sure you get on Facebook. Start seasoning your account. There's a lot to learn inside of Facebook, and um, the dynamics of Facebook itself. And I love the fact that your course isn't. Really too heavily involved with different types of software and integration and whatnot. I think sometimes the best method to getting started, just start simple and learn to just build from there, rather than having something super complex. So yeah, all right. So again, if you're interested in Justin's course, the Marketing Land on Facebook 2.0. Make sure you check it out on landtrainer.com. I'll also include a link in the show notes here. As well, do not forget, please join us on March 11th at, here we go again, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 Central, and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're doing an Ask Me Anything specifically for Facebook marketing for land. And it won't be a long session. It'll probably be 20 to 25 minutes type of thing. It's sort of like what we do with the podcast. I like to keep everything condensed and short. Bring your questions, and both Justin and I will be live inside that group talking about marketing on Facebook. Again, the Facebook group is called REI Conversion Community for Land Investors. Um, um, Other than that, Justin, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I mean, we could talk for 2 hours about it. I would say that I would just like to say that you don't have to buy our course to ask any questions. So feel free to email me questions. I got tons of questions like this from the last time. It's justin.melquist@gmail.com. And then as another idea, we've also had a few people have their VAs take the course, which I thought was pretty cool.
Wow.
So although there was a few that you can tell they didn't have any idea what Facebook was, so it was a little bit like, all right, but I thought it was a great idea, like having someone that helps you out take the course and learn from that to help you out.
Wow. Yeah, that's so funny. I just had a VA who is also setting up a site with us for their land investing as well. I'm only communicating with the VA as well. So it's great to see some of you guys are fully putting your VAs out there to make
Yeah,
them accountable and learn what to do and understand your business. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I will include your email in the show notes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're again on the podcast now. We're also on YouTube, and we're going to see if we're going to upload this onto Facebook as well. But thank you all for joining in on this podcast, and hopefully we'll see you guys all out in the AMA on March 11th. Justin, thanks very much for your time again.
Thanks, Jesse.
Cheers.